For a long time, the idea was, let's get our strategy right, and then let's get increasingly good at making this organization optimal, more efficient, more reliable, tighter, leaner. We know that language very well. And that's very important to do. That works. That's how firms make money in large part. But what this framework says is that idea of exploit, that is making full use, it's exploit in the old economist sense, making full use of resources, known technologies, existing markets, harvesting fully from those familiar, incumbent, established worlds. The exploit frame here says that's a good thing to do. But for a long time, many leaders, too many leaders, felt that was the only thing they had to do. And the assumption there was the ways to make money and to do well today will be the same tomorrow. The assumption was their continuity over time. And of course, what we've learned in the last 30 years is very few things are staying the same. And the next 30 years will probably bring even more challenges. So the Exploit Explore framework says, let's appreciate the work of exploiting. Let's appreciate the work of using well and efficiently the resources that we have. But let's add a time subscript to that. Let's begin to say, that's how we exploit today. And if you think this way, really then exploiting today is the accumulation of lessons and insight that come from yesterday. We're optimizing on recipes for success that we perfected yesterday, that reflected yesterday's commitments, abilities, resources, and broader context. And so today we're optimizing that. Once we add that time script, though, we realize tomorrow may be very different, and we don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. And this is where the explore idea comes in. Explore says, today, every firm, every leader needs to begin to explore, to experiment, to try things out, to fail, right? But to begin to understand, how do we transition from today's successes to the successes and to the activities that will enable us both to survive into tomorrow and also to do well. And that tension, that ratio, how much of your resources, talent, ability, capacity today do you use for today? And how much do you convert those and focus those same talents and resources and capacity on tomorrow? That's a very powerful question. It's not a hard question. It's not a bad question. It's not a blaming question. It's simply saying what we're doing today is remarkable, but what has to be different for us to continue to do well tomorrow? And that's the gist of that Exploit Explore framework. It's a conversation, it's a challenge, it's a provocation to both celebrate how you've been successful to date, but the reality that you also need to imagine and explore and try things out to reach a tomorrow. And if you think about it for a second, that tension, that conversation leads you into unknown territory. It leads you to grappling with things that are novel and new. It leads you to potentially having to lose money for a while you begin to figure out how you're going to make money again. Those transitions are difficult. Those after this mountain activities are difficult.